This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
And welcome back to episode number 3 with Richard Collins. And we're going to keep on talking about the show business on It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show. Today, man, my mouth is just not working like it's supposed to. I'm having a hard time. And the cool thing about this show, I don't edit anything. Everything stays in the mix. We leave everything alone. So we're back, Richard. Let's talk about a little bit more of the showbiz stuff. Well, kind of curious. What was your favorite show to work? You talked a little bit about like Chris Angel. You really liked parts of that. Well, was there any other shows that really stand out in your mind of going, man, I'm glad I was part of that one?
I'm glad I'm part of all of them. But I really, honestly, the even though it didn't work out, Run was pretty cool. But I really enjoy working at the Smith Center, loading in shows and running the shows and loading them out, being with the road crews, learning different ways to do things because people have different ways of doing things and you want to, do the way they want them done, because they're the expert. They're coming in, we're going to load it in like this and we're going to run it like this, like we did Wicked, okay, and we're hanging a bunch of inverts. So they had a certain way of doing things, using a capstan winch with diverters. So everything is going into the place, and you're leaving the capstan winch over here, and then you're diverting everything so you can get that motor over there using the capstan winch and doing, and pulling it up with no effort with the capstan winch. The capstan winch stays in one place in the grid, and you bring the rope to it. However, you got to divert it to get through the grid itself. All the line sets, and that was pretty exciting. I like that.
Learning a new trick of the trade, basically.
Yeah, I knew how to use capstan winch I wasn't a sailor, but, with the rigging rescues, that's where I learned how to use the capstan winch. And using it just to hang a bunch of motors, it was pretty cool.
Well, if it makes it easier than actually pulling up chain and pulling up motors, yeah, it's a good way to do it.
I'm for it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because you've done so much rigging too, and I have, and a lot of us around here have. When you hear somebody says, "Oh yeah, we're going to do motor up," it's like, all right, that's the three of us head to the rail.
Business.
We're going to be pulling up some motors. Let's go.
Let's go. Making the climb all the way to the grid. Ooh. At least at Luxor, we had an elevator to the grid.
I haven't worked at any of the new places.
Well, they didn't have the elevator in there until they put it in for Chris Angel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's not becoming common. You still got to take and climb the ship's ladder or stairs or whatever they have.
Yeah, it all depends. But when they did the theater at the Mandalay Bay, the one that Michael Jackson is in right now, they used the same. It's like a sister to our theater with the elevator already in, but they also have stairs.
Yeah, I don't think too many of them are put. I don't think the ship's ladders up to the grid are even allowed anymore.
No, they have one at the Luxor, and it's used, definitely used. No, elevators are nice.
Yeah, the stairs are nice too.
And then you have stairs and a platform, just going up wherever they're up stage right or
Yep.
down stage right or down wherever the stairs are. It's better than climbing up the ship's ladder.
Straight, yeah, that straight climb. Yeah, it gets a little old after about 40 feet.
Or
50
40
feet,
years.
or 60 feet, or 70, or especially if you've got to go up and down nonstop during the daytime doing things. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, then you just put a motor up and open up the hatch and bring everything up or send it in. That's climbing up and down that ship's ladder is it's a chore.
Yeah, less than ideal. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I loved working Jubilee. Jubilee was a great show. You're learning all the songs. Even before the show started and the audience is coming in and you have the songs that they're playing, just as the entrance music. And you learn those songs too. And then when they come on the radio when you're older, you're like, hey, I couldn't sing along. I'm singing along with it.
There you go.
Fly me to the moon. You just do it. That was fun. The music is always fun.
Yeah.
But nothing really favorite. No favorite stands out to me. I just liked it all.
Yeah.
Honestly, there was.
And it's like people. Excuse me. Carry on for a second while I choke to death over here.
So my favorite thing to do is complain about how many hours I work now.
The complaint years ago was you weren't getting enough.
Right?
Now they're making you work too many.
Now I work too many. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Don't know where that one came from. Started choking. People ask me that all the time. Well, what was your favorite show? And I was like, I don't know. I've done about 18,000. How do you say which one was your favorite?
The next one? I don't know. The next show.
I mean, there's acts that stand out that I really loved working with. Just a couple acts would be like Brooks and Dunn. They were so much fun. That was just a party. They're just crazy. Every time they would come back here, their show would be completely different. It was like they would sit around, on the off month or 2 or 3 or whatever they were doing, and try to figure out, okay, what else can we do to be crazy on the next tour? And it just got crazier and more ridiculous, and bringing more props and more stuff, and they're just having fun. As their main guy said, yeah, this is called the high-tech redneck show.
Well, they're out there doing what they love, right? And they're being paid a handsome sum, and they should be enjoying themselves. They worked hard to get there and make it fun. Why not?
Yep.
Why be? I mean, obviously you want to have your A game on when you're doing things, but you also want to have a smile on your face.
Yeah, and they put smiles on everybody's faces, man. Those
That's
guys
awesome.
just had so much fun, and that was the day we were doing the NFR stuff here all the time, and it was we'd do 3 nights of Brooks and Dunn, then we'd do 3 nights of Reba, then we'd do 3 nights of Kenny Rogers, or something like that, or Brad Paisley or something. So we did 9 nights straight, 3 nights each. And that's load in, load out. And then a lot of times during the daytime, we were doing a show called Primetime Country, the TV show for Nashville Network.
Amazing.
So we would start in the morning at 8 setting up, and you go through till midnight, basically, with the show.
Yeah.
Pull all that off, get back in there, set up everything, do the TV show, move that out of the way, put back, the act that you're doing that night. And
Yeah. Everything had its place.
yeah, so it had to be in. That's what made us do the first stage expansion, take the stage all the way back and flatten it so we could get more room, more stuff on the deck,
The scene dock.
Yeah, because at one point we just had the one ramp and right to the back curtain, and it was like, we need more room
Oh, absolutely.
to be rolling all this stuff on and off.
And stage management wants this room, but you need this room. Oh no, let's hang it.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff gets hung in the air, man. A lot of stuff. But when you don't have floor space, you go to ceiling space. So,
There you go. That's what theater's about.
yep. Any shows that you look at and go, I'm glad I didn't stick with that one, or that one wasn't one of my favorites. I'm trying to remember some of those myself, and it's like, there's not a whole lot that I can go,
Well,
I didn't like a certain show, but there's.
I had opportunities like with Showstoppers when that was I was doing the install over there, but I didn't take advantage of that. But it's a feeling. You're like you have to have security. And that's what I was about. But these days, I would have just jumped. I would have said, okay, let's do it. If I knew what I know now, I would have just gone.
Yeah.
Those things. I wish I did that. One show I'm glad I didn't was actually here. That only lasted a little bit.
Which show was that?
Twisted Vegas.
Oh, was not a very good show.
I had fun on it.
Oh yeah, the show was.
Yeah.
It was a kind of fun to do that show, but it was not. That show just didn't know what it was supposed to be,
Yeah.
and it didn't translate because the main guy was French, and he would talk to whatever audience was there, and they were like they couldn't understand what he was saying, and then the little midget guy, dwarf, whatever you want to call him. I don't call them little people because I'm not politically correct. Yeah, I said it. You know.
That
And,
small guy.
Yeah, and he was
Rook.
Greek, and when he would talk, no one could understand him. So the audience was like looking at each other like, they're saying things, and people are supposed to be laughing, but no one could understand the humor.
Yeah.
And that was a part of it. It was supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be a comedy about poking fun at Vegas shows and having fun with it.
Yeah.
No one could
work
understand the
out.
jokes. They couldn't understand the jokes. It's like it could have been funny had people understood.
Yeah.
It was what it was. Yeah, what did it last? A month or two or something?
Yeah.
And then they pulled the plug on it. Said, "Nope, no more money on this show." Yeah, but like when I used to talk to the people coming in for orientation and stuff, they'd bring them over here, and we talked to them about a few things about showbiz because I had a crew of 10 people. I had projectionists, lasers. I had all these people around working here, and so they could break off and go talk to those people if they were interested. But like I'd always start off by saying it's very simple. Understand this, and this should be rule number one that you understand. Every show closes.
Yeah.
Some last one night, some last 35 years,
Yeah.
but every show closes. I said, I've made more money on shows closing than I've ever made on any shows staying open. Because you put them in, you work your butts off putting them in, you work the shows, and then you take them out and you want them out as fast as possible. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you go back to your normal life of 40 hours or whatever it's going to be, and
True.
the
I
business.
remember coming over here and having to avoid the tigers. And
Was that with? That was Dirk.
Dirk.
Was that Dirk? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Dirk. He passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, so sad. These are the sad stories about happening in the business. Dirk Arthur, one of the nicest people, one of the nicest magicians out there. Had a very nice little show, great cats, big cats and stuff, but nobody wanted to touch the cats anymore because of PETA and stuff like that. So he went and he bought himself his own theater in Branson.
Wow.
And he was just getting everything boxed up and ready to send back there, and had already got the cages started to be put in back in Branson, so he's ready to take the tigers back. And he died of a heart attack.
Oh.
He got his dream, and he died
Did
before
not
he
know
got
that.
to do it. Oh, it was,
And he also did a stint over at Jubilee, I believe.
yes, he did all kinds of stuff all
Yeah.
over the place.
I wasn't there when he was over at Jubilee.
One of the nicest guys. I've been out to his place a bunch of times. And
I heard that Siegfried and Roy were pretty cool too.
I worked their show only one or two nights on an ASAP. Someone had called off and gotten sick or whatever like that. I used to do all these ASAPs because I lived right just down here on basically Desert Inn and Swenson. Used to be called Swenson. That's University or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I was right next to all these hotels. So they could just call me and say, hey, can you get over there in like 20 minutes? Yeah. Out the door I'd go.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I only did one or two nights because someone got sick. I didn't like working that show. I don't know why, but I just didn't care for it.
Yeah. I have the pleasure of working with Mike McDonald, and he was over at the Hacienda, and he was with Lance Burton. And I hear nothing but good things about Lance Burton also.
Yeah, well, Lance Burton, I guess, was really a great guy to work with, and work for when we went over to Monte Carlo.
He worked with him at the Hacienda. His head carpenter at the Hacienda.
Yeah, David Kiss was his head carpenter over at Monte Carlo, and Rico Grippo was there, and few other of our guys were there. But no, I heard nothing but good stuff about Lance Burton on that. And what do you see for the future? I mean, you're right in the middle of it. You're right there at the beginning of our.
It just seems like there's just going to be more pop-ups and conventions, or maybe like smaller little shows than big extravagant shows. I mean, I really wish that they would have more theater shows, you know, even a showgirl show, you know, bring back Jubilee type thing or whatever. But, you know, it's what people want. If they don't want it, it's not going to sell. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can wish they would do all kinds of things, but I mean, really, honestly, I think the best show in town right now is Mystere. It's the original, and I enjoy it more than I could go see it all the time. I think it's a great show.
I've never seen a Cirque show. I never saw Jubilee. I was on the cruise. I was on the cruise.
I never saw it either.
Yeah. I never worked it. I never did anything there. I was in the scenery shop that built it.
Yeah.
Over there when we built it in 1980.
Nice.
You know, that was one of my first union gigs, and spent a year there, or something like that. It was roughly about a year. Yeah. But anyways, roughly a year.
I have the nice theater over at Paris, and you know, it sits there and does nothing.
And that's a shame.
Yeah.
Man, that's a shame. There's got to be something that could, you know, put butts in the seat there, man. I don't get it. You know, something's got to be out there where people would want to go there and see a show. There's got to be a headliners or something, just weekend headliners. There's got to be something.
I'm sure there's something. It just depends on who's in the entertainment seat at that moment, if they want to put some money towards it or something. I don't know. I guess it has to be lock, stock, and barrel, or they're not going to do anything. There's no taking chances anymore, you know.
And so many of them want to do these 4 walls too. You know, it's like, yeah, you can use our room, but you're paying for everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, how about if we do a 2-wall where, you know, you guys, where you know, the hotel covers just the labor, we'll cover the cost of the show and all this stuff. Hotels are like, nope.
Yeah. Well, Absinthe is a really good show too. I've seen it twice, and I enjoyed it both times. I think the first time I saw it with the original Gazillionaire was amazing, and then the second time it seemed more like a DJ at a strip club. But you know, it was still good shows. The acts are really good. You know, they very talented people doing their little acts. I like it a lot.
I haven't seen that one either. You know, in the business, it's a lot of it is.
It's a lot of.
You don't want to go see a show when you work shows all the
Sure,
time. You're like,
absolutely.
last thing I want to do is go see another show.
Or just go to the strip.
Yeah,
You know.
no thanks.
No, I hear you. Absolutely. If I'm going to go do a show, or if I'm going to go to a show, I'm going to work it. You know, something like that. That was the mentality. I'm not going to shows. I work. I'm gonna. So when I'm on vacation with my child, my 12-year-old daughter, I have to watch what I say, because I'll be looking at rigging and I'll pick it out, and then we'll go over there and she'll be scared because I picked out the rigging and said it didn't look good, or that's not the way you use the equipment, or you know, stuff like that. So I've learned to be quiet when we're going and rigging is involved.
Yeah. No, I get that side. We all do that. We it's hard to go see a show and not want to sit there and critique it.
Right.
And go, which now that's I have one site that's a website and stuff like that is about showbiz critique as a showbiz critic basically. And I go see shows, I go see movies, whatever, and then I give it my critique, say what I think about it and stuff like that. And you know, it's just kind of fun, and it's kind of an excuse to go see some shows and be able to write it off. And
I'm kind of in the same boat. My wife wants me to do something like that with restaurants. You know, because when every time we go to a restaurant, I'm like, oh, they should do this, they should do that, this would make it better, this and that. It's more of like, hey, this is the way you should run things. But you know, I'm not an expert, but there's plenty of podcasts out there or people doing little Instagram things, little videos on, hey, this is a good restaurant. But my wife thinks that I could do a good job of doing that, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll do that one day.
It costs a microphone and a little mixer like this, and you know.
Or just a phone. I'll have my daughter taping or videoing me while I'm.
Or you can do it that
doing
simple.
it.
See,
Yep,
I
that's
don't like
simple.
doing the video. That's why
Yeah.
I don't do video. I just do, you know.
I think if you
I do the
start off
audio.
with the phone, then you get into more of this stuff because as being in entertainment, you want the realness of it. You know.
Yeah. I like the where we can just talk and people can actually drive down. They don't have to watch it or anything like that. Because to me, it's like, I don't know why people would want to watch me sit here talk to you. To me, why would you want to sit here or you listen to me and then talk back to me? To me, it's like, I don't care to watch that, you know, but I'll listen. I don't mind listening to what's going on and stuff. But so that's why I just said I'll cut out the.
You can close your
video
eyes,
side.
but your ears are always open. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I'd rather just have that, you know, have a chat and
I like it. I like the chat.
yeah, instead of having to try to remember there's a camera staring at you, so don't sit there and, you know, don't go nodding off and looking out into space or
Well, that would be a sorry podcast too.
yeah, but now this I like doing this, just having a chat, just chatting about showbiz.
I like the history of this being in this room too. People can't see it, but you know, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool room to be doing this in. You know, I am so very lucky to do it, and that they let me do it. And, you know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, come on, guys, this was my area here for 30 years,
Absolutely.
so it's not like I'm going to come over here and trash the
It's
hotel.
like
and,
they gave you a gold watch.
yeah, it's like I talk
Well,
positive.
yeah,
about
there's
the
plenty of
place.
cameras around. They're gonna know that you were here. Hey, that was Craig in the Elvis room. Yeah.
And I always talk about, you know, being at the Westgate on the podcast, you know, because I want to give you know, props to the place for doing what
Absolutely.
we're doing. So
Westgate's a good little hotel. It really is. Even
It-
though I still call it the Hilton.
I know it took me a long time not to do that. I'll tell you what, because it was still the Hilton to me for so long. And
I was at the union meeting the other day, and I was saying, I'm gonna go hang out with Craig over at the Hilton. I mean, the Westgate.
yeah, that does happen.
Yes,
And they
sir.
probably sat there and go, "I thought he retired.
Tell
thought
him
he-
I said
I
hi.
thought he died."
There's no stories like that.
No, well, I'd hope not.
Well, you were hiding in your little box for a while, right? You weren't really out there doing anything else?
No, I just worked at other hotels, showrooms and stuff.
I mean, no, I mean here when you were finally here. I mean, since I met you, you've only been here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it was like your little spot.
That's what I was saying earlier. That, yeah, it's this place made it so I didn't ever have to go out any place else. We were so busy all the time here. It was like, you want to make extra money, you can just stay here because there's going to be a lot of other stuff going on. And you don't have to go be the greedy, chase down the dollar everywhere and stuff. And you know, and the older you get, I don't think you want to keep doing that anyway. It's why. Be happy with what you have and enjoy life a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we call it good on this one?
No, I'd like to say thanks to you and thanks to the Westgate Hotel for having me, and it was very enjoyable. I look forward to hopefully doing it again.
Yeah. Well, as we come up with more things and you get another story, you want to say, hey, man, I got another great story, some great stories. I'll say, well, come on down. Let's have another chat for a bit. And
Yeah.
because this stuff never has to end. The whole point of this thing is to keep the history and the stories alive.
I can talk about some of my old bosses.
Yeah, talk about them. About especially that guy at the Luxor. You know. Yeah, talk about him. Trash him a little bit. That'll be fine.
All right. Well, the greatest illusion is him still having a show and putting people in the seats.
Which one was that?
Oh, you're talking about the other guy,
Yeah, I'm
the brother.
Trash. You can let's talk bad about my brother. You know,
Yeah.
we give each other a bad time. That's what we do. Brothers are supposed to do that. So
You know, it was always a mental day working with your brother. That's for sure. You had to be on top of your game. That's for sure.
I can see that. That's all right. Everyone has their unique style. Mine was always a little bit more laid back, but you know. But anyways,
Well, he has his moments where you can lay back, absolutely. But for them, you know, when you're working with them, it's got to be on top of your game.
yeah. Oh well. All right. I guess that brings us to the end of this stuff. And Richard, thanks for coming again.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on the show and telling us a little bit about your experiences in showbiz. And we're going to keep on doing this down the road with more people, and got people getting ready to get in here in just about 20 minutes, and we're going to do another one. So, all right, folks, until then, Talbot, take it away.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.